I know that under your term as Consul General in Atlanta, one of the big events for Southeast and Atlanta French relations has been the Louvre-Atlanta project. That project has brought a lot of attention to the High Museum that entered into a contract, the very first contract of that sort with the Louvre to bring over some of the artwork from the Louvre in a three-phase program. How do you feel that program and that relationship has fared here in Atlanta?
I think it worked very well, and do understand that it was a little revolution for French people, because it was the first time a museum decided to go abroad for 3 years and to have different exhibits in another museum for 3 years. And when the Louvre said, well, we are going abroad for 3 years, we are going to have 11 or 12 different exhibits, and we're going to do it in Atlanta, people discovered that something new was going on. First of all, they say, do we have to export culture? Because you know, in France, culture is something very important, very peculiar, and we think culture is different from business. We don't like to have business with culture. So it was quite new for French people, and we had a lot of debate, of the domestic debate, to know whether or not this was acceptable. And at the end of the day, well, I think now that French people understand that it's very important to have a little bit of private money for culture and not only taxpayers' money. And the museums now know that if they want to do well, they not only have to receive money from the state, from the taxpayers, but also to raise money like museums do in the United States.
Did the French government cut back the Louvre's budget, or was it just that the Louvre's needs grew and had to find other sources of income?
When the French government decided that instead of having all the museums receiving funds from the state, the museums are going to have maybe 50% of their needs coming from the state, and they will need to find 50% of their budget outside. So in the private
So
sector.
it was really led by the French government. It was a new policy of the French government.
It was a new policy, and well, mainly inspired by what is going on in the United States. And we try to figure out how to balance the importance of culture and the importance of culture being funded by the state, and at the same time the private sector. So we want to mix maybe the former system in France and the current system in the United States, to have maybe a 50% system funded by the private funds, but also by the state, by tax money payers. So it was really a revolution. And it was also a revolution for French people to discover that instead of going to New York or going to Boston, the Louvre decided to go to Atlanta. And they said, but why Atlanta? And it was a wonderful way to promote the American Southeast, which is obviously known in France, but not that well. It was really a win-win situation because it was very important for France to be in Atlanta, but also for American people, it was important to be able to see masterpieces of the Louvre without going to Paris. And the first year, the High Museum had, I think, 450,000 visitors. 450,000 visitors for the first year is really a lot, and it's more than what was expected. And a lot of people came here and knowing that they won't be able to go to Paris, but they will be able to see the masterpieces coming from the Louvre. So it's really a win-win situation.
Do you think it played a role in re-establishing the strong French-American ties after all the conflicts that there had been concerning the war in Iraq?
I think culture is very important, and it's it's kind of a way to reestablish or to improve the relation. Like trade is also a way to improve relation. When we had some bad reactions in 2003, or people wanted to boycott French products. Well, we explained, if you boycott French products, you're going to fire American people who work for French firms. We have 550,000 American people employed by French subsidiaries. So should you boycott French products, you penalize the American people.
Did it put the Louvre and the High Museum in the forefront of a whole movement for cooperation among museums? Apparently other museums have been doing this as well. Is this a new spirit for museums?
I think it is. It is a new spirit. You have now other museums in the United States that want to cooperate with the Louvre. Oh. Louvre and the High Museum want to have another kind of cooperation after this 3-year partnership, and it's going to end in 2009, and they want to find something different, another kind of cooperation. And obviously you have the Louvre going to Dubai, which is very new, so the museum can bring very important things to a city. And for instance, since the Louvre is in the High Museum, I think the ranking of the High Museum beyond the American museums is improving. I think it was 21st or 22nd before the Louvre, and I think it's now 11th of 12th now with the Louvre. So it's really win-win.
And it also led to exchanges among the curators, among students.
Obviously.
Atlanta and Georgia students were able to go and spend some time in Paris and visit the Louvre. And I remember some of the curators from the Louvre came here, and there's been a lot of correspondence that wouldn't have happened.
Sure. And the cultural services of the consulate decided to sponsor an operation that we call that the Summer Teacher Institute, and every summer we have around 250 teachers coming from all over the places in the southeast to learn about the new exhibits of the Louvre in Atlanta, in order to be able to teach after their students, and to come with their students and to explain to the students what they are going to see in the museum. So it's also wonderful cooperation for teachers, for students, for curators.
What is still to take place with Louvre-Atlanta? It's going to be in its final phase. Will there be a celebration at the end?
They're going to have the 3rd year, which will start in October. So it will be about modern art, and we don't know yet what they are going to do. It's kept very secret, and obviously we'll have a lot of celebrations at the end of this 3-year partnership, and we'll have something different after the end of 2009. I know they want to work together. They discovered it was wonderful to exchange curators, to improve their skills, and for American people going to the Louvre, from French people coming to Atlanta. So they want to do something together. We don't know yet what it's going to be, but it's not going to be the end of the cooperation between the High Museum and the Louvre.